Welcome to the Mission Mojo Show, where we talk about how to clarify and monetize your mission to make a difference, build the new earth, make the money you want, and make sure that you get some crypto. And if that sounds interesting, something right up your alley, we would love for you to join our community by liking this video, subscribing, hit the bell and click all so you get notified when we're uploading new videos, when we're uploading tutorials, when we're uploading interviews, and when we're going live. It's Nicola Grace, the Mission Mentor, and we're talking today about the dreaded subject of pricing your programs and your courses. And I'm joined today with a colleague of mine, Jay Fairbrother from Profit Architects. Hi, Jay. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, Nicola. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've been having deep conversations around what it takes to price your programs and your products fairly as well as profitably. So we'll dive really deep into that, give you some tips as well. But just to get my audience familiar with your background and how you came to be doing what you're doing, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. So I'm a serial entrepreneur for the last 30 some years. The Profit Architects is actually my ninth business in many different industries. So the issue of pricing has been a lifelong challenge for me in my own businesses. And where I came to create a program around pricing was because over the last few years, I've worked with over 100 coaches, speakers, course creators, and in giving them sales coaching for selling conversations to enroll high-end clients. And as part of those conversations, we always address their pricing and we look at their packages and pricing models and that kind of thing. And it, just was born out of working with so many coaches who struggle with this and are frankly making a lot of mistakes in terms of pricing their packages and programs. So that's how we got here.
And what are some of those mistakes then?
There's a bunch, but we can, so most coaches and course creators, speakers, authors feel like they're not getting enough value for what they deliver, and they struggle with raising prices for fear of losing clients. So a big part of what we talk about in the pricing workshop that I do is that exact topic, and we look at some of the math and really some of the numbers to get you to understand that the pricing is all about perceived value, and there are lots of ways to increase the perceived value of your pricing packages and programs so that you're not discounting and lowering your value. So, for example, one of the common mistakes that a lot of coaches make is they use what I call the therapy model, which is, one package costs this much, and if you buy 3 packages, it's discounted. And if you buy, 6 or 8 coaching sessions, and basically all you're doing is devaluing yourself, you're getting less per hour for your coaching as people move up that ladder. And a different way to approach that is to look at adding additional value, and even in that model, with each bigger package of sessions, you add things that create more value than just the sessions themselves, so that you don't have to discount the pricing.
Yeah, your time, because you're trading your time for money, and time is valuable, right? That's a really good tip. That's a great tip, actually. Whenever I think about pricing, I think about Brendan Burchard. And I don't know if you know his story, but he tells the story of he came out of nowhere, didn't really know what he was doing, wanted to charge $24,000 for a coaching program, and just did it. And I know that so many people is like, well, will have that self-talk. What if nobody will pay that? What if people don't see that I'm worth that? Am I worth that? Can I deliver that kind of value to charge that much? So how do you talk to people about that inner self-talk that we have whenever we're looking at what we're going to price our programs at?
Yeah, it's critical that the whole subject of being confident around your pricing, it will have, a drastic effect on the results. So the way I phrase it is that if you're only 80% confident in your pricing, you should expect 80% success and results. Every degree that you move your confidence up in terms of that pricing is going to help not only maybe raise your price, but like I've had people go through my program and at the end they say, you know what, I'm not going to raise my price, but I feel so much more confident about my pricing that when I'm talking to people one-on-one or in an enrollment conversation, now I know how to deliver my pricing in a way that exudes that confidence, and it makes a huge difference in the conversion results.
Yeah, that's winning that in a game. And do you find that sometimes people overprice? And what would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the exercises that we do in the workshop is we ask you to look at your pricing from the customer perspective, because what we think about our pricing has no real bearing on what somebody's willing to pay for it and what its real value is. Mm-hmm. So I walk people through what I call the value equation, which is literally a formula. And you look at your pricing from the lens of the customer in terms of things like perceived likelihood of success and how easy and fast the outcomes are. Because, like if you compare like a do-it-yourself program is going to be a lot less value to somebody than a done-for-you program. So if you're done-for-you version or somewhere along that spectrum makes results happen faster, quicker, easier, then that people are going to pay a lot more for that because it increases that perceived value.
Yeah. And I think that that's really important, is the perception of value. I had a really big lesson once in pricing when I had underpriced something that I was selling. It was one of my early courses. And I had somebody contact me. It was a $987 program. And she contacted me thinking she had paid $987 for a home study program. But I had been charging $987 for a 6-week coaching program. And I went, wow, somebody's prepared to pay $987 for it to be a home study. I am undercharging. I haven't got my perception right with value. So now what I like to do, I like to have a sliding scale of using logic, market research, and intuition. And if I don't jump out of bed, like if I don't want to jump out of bed to offer it, I'm not charging enough. That's kind of how I see it. Because you've also got to deliver value, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's a couple of points in there that I'll address. So one of the most common mistakes people make is revealing their pricing too early. So especially in for higher end things where there's a conversation involved, oftentimes you get asked sort of at the beginning of a enrollment call or discovery call, well, what is this going to cost? What's your pricing? And the worst thing you can do at that point is reveal your actual prices. Mm-hmm. And the way I phrase it is that you should never name a price until the person you're speaking with is chomping at the bit to work with you. They are convinced, or at least 80% convinced, that you're the person that can help them and that this is the right program for them. That's the time to then name your price. And there's tons of ways to structure pricing that guide people to the programs that you really want to sell, or the programs that really offer the most value. There's very common is a 3-tiered pricing model. So that you don't have too many options to confuse people, because that's another one of the mistakes people make, is their pricing is confusing. But you can structure those tiers to actually guide people towards the packages, and we go through all of that in the workshop. So there's tons of little tricks and strategies that you can use that will help, in an authentic way, help people figure out what's the right package for them, what's the right solution for them, what's the thing that's going to bring them the most value.
Right. And speaking of workshop, guys, Jay has a free workshop coming up to help you get your head on straight around pricing your programs, coming in just in time for getting sorted for the end of the year. and the link is below this video. Because we are on YouTube, it means we're evergreen. You will also be able to click the link below and go over and see what is available at that time that you're doing. But we are looking at going into a new year. This is the time to revisit pricing. So I think it's a great idea to go and do Jay's workshop. Again, link below in the description. So I just want to leave on one final note, and that is around this debate that I'm always having with you colleagues around where we're at post-pandemic and where we're at with people struggling a little bit with inflation and pricing. Because people tend to think, oh, we're possibly in a recession, we need to lower our prices. But what do you say to that?
So at any given moment in time, there are plenty of people out there who have as much money as they want to spend, as long as they see that they see the perceived value. So I don't ascribe to the theory or that side of the debate that says we need to be sensitive around inflationary times or recessionary times. Because there's always people out there who will spend money to get the results that they want and the transformation that they want. So, so one of the easy things you can do if this is if you're having this internal debate is just add a high ticket or higher end option to your pricing package. So if you've got a $1,000 program, put a $3,000 option out there for the people, because there's a certain percentage of the population at any moment in time who will absolutely grab that $3,000 package because they see that that's the one that's going to get them results easier, faster, and a bigger transformation. And sometimes, we get ourselves into the thing of, well, I can't charge, I don't think anybody would pay me more than $1,000 for what I do. And if you just put that as an option out there, you'd be surprised that there's, could be 5%, 10%, even 20% of the people who will just take that bigger package because it produces better results for them.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. I remember the year I did that was the year I broke six figures. And it really surprised me because what happened was that I wasn't offering people to go into deeper transformation with me or to spend more one-on-one time with me. And some people really want that, they value that, or they like getting the upsell because they want to dive deep, right? And the year I did exactly what you just said was the year I broke six figures. So that's a really awesome tip. So we've had 3 great tips and today. So thanks, Jay. And there are many more in the workshop. How long is the workshop for?
It's a 90-minute workshop. I'm usually happy to stay on longer than that for Q&A and questions. I try to make it interactive, and there is a lot of content in the workshop. So I've gotten great feedback from the people who have come through this in terms of the value that they get.
Great. So you're confident about the value. And what's it called?
It's called Pricing for Profits. How to create irresistible offers to raise prices without losing clients.
Yeah, very, very important. Link is below. So thanks so much for joining us, Jay. Is there any final word you want to leave us with other than click the link below and get onto the registration for the free workshop?
I'll share a quote, and I begin these workshops by sharing this quote from Dan Kennedy, who's considered kind of the father, maybe the grandfather now of direct marketing. And he says to charge as high a price as you can say out loud without cracking a smile. And he's not joking. The point is that you want to push your comfort zone in terms of the price you're willing to put out there. That it almost needs to get to a point where you think no one's going to pay that, like, oh my God, I can't say that with a straight face, and that's where you want to push towards.
Oh, that's really awesome. Thank you, and thank you so much for your time Folks, we are helping people build businesses for the new earth, for the future that we are going into. We're working with conscious entrepreneurs, intuitive entrepreneurs, new earth entrepreneurs. And if you found today valuable, you want to check out the rest of our videos, definitely go to Jay's workshop. And we would love for you to subscribe and be part of our community, and even like this video, push it out to people who you think might find this information helpful as well. Thanks so much for listening, everybody, all the way to the end. I love people who stick around till the end. Bye for now. Bye, Jay.